If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that sub button for more amazing content. Now, let's jump straight into the video. What's good, YouTube, and welcome back to the Bofina One podcast, and I'm your host, Bofina One, and as you guys can see from the title, I saw this article popped up, so I wanted to make a quick little video on it, and that is U.S. productivity is declining, and employees are less willing to engage in hustle culture, as 1 in 5 Americans admit to doing the bare minimum. So I thought this was interesting because, with a lot of remote work, meaning people working from home, hybrid work where, you go in for, let's say, a couple days a week and then you're home for a couple days, it's kind of split half and half. I think it has made people realize how much work they have to do, how much extra stuff that they have to deal with because you're in the office, your boss is there, people are looking at you, your coworkers are watching. There's always this competition where, I think a lot of people working from home, it's kind of like, okay, as long as I get the work done. So, and having maybe some in between pockets of like, they can go grocery shopping, or maybe they're able to, spend time with their kids. I think it's made people less wanting to like just burn themselves out. So before we get into this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe. So let's get into it. So there's no doubt about it. Employees across the country are pulling back at work. Labor productivity is slowing this year, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. The government agency comes up with this measurement by taking output per hour and dividing that by number by an index of all the workers, paid and unpaid. While this measurement increased at a modest 0.3% in the third quarter, it's not enough to make up for what was lost in the first half of the year. After a 7.5% decline in Q1, productivity in the second quarter dropped another 4.1%, says the BLS. It's yet another blow for employers struggling to keep employees engaged. First, there was the Great Resignation, and now there's quiet quitting. Quiet quitting, a workplace trend that's been sweeping the nation, isn't necessarily about leaving your job. Instead, it refers to simply doing the bare minimum. The term has been going viral on social media, particularly on TikTok. Should you jump in on this trend? I mean, they also have to understand, too, that, a lot of people lost their jobs, right? And so like during the prime pandemic, a lot of people were given money during unemployment and stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of people were able to use and have that time to, see what they could do with that money and what they needed to do to maybe start a business or, so some people I feel like took advantage of this. So they're out of the quote unquote 9 to 5. They're out of that. They're never going back. Quiet quitting is stark contrast to the hustle culture, the go-getter mentality that promotes consistently overperforming and exceeding expectations. Although quiet quitting is a relatively new term, a large number of workers are doing it already. According to a ResumeBuilder.com survey of 1,000 working Americans in August, 21% of respondents say they only do the bare minimum. Another 5% say they do even less than what they're paid to do. The trend of quiet quitting is also shown in the amount of time people put into their work. In the survey, 1/3 of respondents say they've reduced their weekly work hours by more than 50%. And there's some truth to that. Like, I think a lot of time, and I think people don't realize that the higher you go up, meaning the more money that you make, sometimes even the higher position you have, you tend to have less work, right? Like, for example, even with my position, now that I'm in corporate, we have times where it's like, hey, crunch, 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 right? And then you have times where it's like, okay, we can kind of relax. I definitely have had more work when I was in a different position than I am now. And that was typically when I was going into the office. I had to report to more people. More people were, in a sense, I guess you could say, micromanaging me, right? So there's a lot of different things that factor in with, I feel like, people's productivity, as well as I think people realize that, working from home, they don't feel like they have to work as much. I feel like when people had to go into the office, they felt like they had to be busy, whether they were busy or not. Said Zayazan, a 24-year-old software developer and musician behind that popular TikTok video, explained why he's no longer subscribing to the hustle culture mentality. Overworking only gets you so far in corporate America, he says in an interview reported by Bloomberg. And like a lot of us have experienced in the past few years, mental and physical health really takes a backseat to productivity in a lot of these structured corporate environments. In the Resume Builder survey, 83% of respondents who do the bare minimum said they definitely are somewhat burned out. Finding a balance between work and life is another big reason for the rise of quiet quitting. Some employees no longer feel connected to their work or workplace and have a much stronger desire to focus their attention on their families and personal lives, says career strategist and coach Stacey Haller. With this shift in priorities, you see less willingness to engage in hustle culture. And, there's some truth to that. I mean, I just think people have burned out from COVID. and some people have lost their jobs, and I just think people are just burned out. I think people want to have fun. And I think the whole concept of sitting in an office all day and sitting at a job all day trapped, I think that's the biggest thing. I don't know. I just think COVID got people during that lockdown period where pretty much nothing was open except like gas stations and grocery stores. I just think it got people looking at stuff in a different way. It got people thinking about things in a different way. And it's nice to see that the employee, meaning the worker, is in control, where before it was an employer, the person who hired you. So they're going to have to change. That's why a lot of jobs now are going to either all remote or hybrid work, because people want that flexibility. And I'm not gonna lie, I work from home and it's nice. I'm able to take care of errands during, let's say, a lunch break, or I'm able to, I can kind of flex my hours. So let's say maybe I want to start later because I need to take care of something, or maybe I want to start earlier because I need to do something later on, but I'm still getting the work done. So, and it's more relaxing because, you're able to be in comfortable clothing. You're able to be in the comfort of your own home. Like, it's a lot of different things that go into that I think a lot of companies don't realize. But like I said, there's also the group of people that are burnt out. They're literally, it's been a lot for them these past couple of years, and they're just mentally, emotionally, and they're just drained. Like, some people are just literally drained. And the last part, critics say, of course, there are several obvious downsides to the trend. While acknowledging that people unhappy with their current job situation probably don't want to go above and beyond at work, Haller says that quiet quitting isn't productive. It would be better for disenchanted employees to speak with their managers about how to improve their current situation, or to work with a job search coach to start looking for a more exciting opportunity. Investment mogul and Shark Tank star Kevin O'Leary is another critic and calls quiet quitting a really bad idea. People that go beyond to try to solve problems for their organization, their teams, their managers, their bosses, those are the ones that succeed in life, he explains on CNBC. People that shut down their laptop at 5, want that balance in life, want to go to the soccer game, 9 to 5 only, they don't work for me. Only time will tell if the trend of quiet quitting is here to stay or will fade away. And there's some truth to that too. I mean, you can't expect to start a position and you're not going to have to put in work, right? You're not going to have to work more hours. But I also think there's a point of you shouldn't burn yourself out. People be overworking to not get a raise. People overwork more than the other person just to look good in front of their boss. And that's nice, but that other person that's just doing the bare minimum will keep their job, So I agree, but then I don't agree at the same time. But let me know your guys' thoughts about this. I thought this was an interesting article. That's why I wanted to share it. And if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.